Let's talk about how to do the most damage possible as the Time to Hunt Gunslinger, as well as some skill rotations, what's optimal, what's not so optimal, and why I personally play the build that I do. So as the Time to Hunt Gunslinger, you're giving up your shotgun skills, which means your focus is on your rifle skills. Now, more specifically, your focus shot and target down rifle skills. So to do the absolute most damage possible, you want to be hitting these skills right off of their rotation as quickly as possible so that they don't have any downtime. But there are other skills that are going to make sure that you're doing the maximum damage possible for those rifle skills and bullet range. The most important one being your crit buff skills, which are your spiral tracker and your dexterous shot. They're both going to be giving you extra crit chance. Another skill that is going to be very, very good for you as the Time to Hunt Gunslinger is quick step. You are going to take the life absorption tripod, which gives you extra attack and move speed. Optimally, you are always going to have that crit buff up, and then when you can, and you know that you have one or two rifle skills, specifically target down or focus shot skills, because those take the longest to cast, you are definitely going to want to use your crit buff skill, then use your quick step, and then go straight into these skills. That way you have that extra attack and move speed. Another factor is if you're using Conviction Judgment, because whenever you proc the Conviction Judgment runes, which you're actually proccing Judgment, then what's going to happen is you are going to reduce your cooldown of the skills that were used in that little window. So for example, if you proc Conviction and then Judgment, as you can see, just procced, now you can use these skills in this little window, and all the skills that you use within that window are going to have a reduced cooldown, which is of course good because we want to be using these skills as much as possible, right? So that's another factor that is going to go into your rotations. You're never going to be able to always have the perfect rotation because you're taking into account boss mechs, you're talking about cutscenes, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going on in a raid, but you are always 100% of the time pretty much going to be having your crit buff up because you have two skills that have this buff. For example, on the opening rotation for my Gunslinger, when you go into a raid, you need to proc Adrenaline plus be able to use your Conviction Judgment and your quick step and getting your rifle skills and actually start your damage rotation. So typically what that's going to look like is you are going to somersault in, hit him with a spiral tracker because I bleed root on that, so that's where I go next. Then I hit my Conviction Judgment, then step, and go ahead and start my combo. And that way I can get in focus shot and target down. And if I'm quick enough, then I can get in focus shot as well, or catastrophe. But as you can see, no more crit buff up here. So I have to switch, reapply, and then go back to using skills. Now that is the most perfectly optimal best case scenario. That is not always going to happen. So the optimal rotation is always going to be just making sure to have that crit buff. Now, the reason that I go for a hybrid build in this class with 1400 spec and about 800 swiftness, if I could have my perfect class, it would be about 1500 spec and somewhere around 750 swiftness, is because it really doesn't matter what build you're using. If you are being optimal with your rotations, you are going to be doing right around the same amount of damage over the fight. I figured it's a lot more fun for me to have a little bit more swiftness. I really prefer swiftness classes somewhere around 600 to 800 because I feel like the move speed is really good. Plus the cooldown time for this particular class feels really nice and you just feel a little bit zippier. So that is why I use this build. Now I'm going to do some clown and show y'all some real raid examples. And before we get into the actual raid, do me a favor, hit that like button for me if you've been enjoying the video so far, or if you've learned anything about Time to Hunt Gunslinger. That is of course going to really help push this video to more Time to Hunt players or people that are trying to learn this. So go ahead and do that. It's free and it helps me out a lot. So on with the video. Let's get into the raid. So I just found my clown party. We're getting some fat DPS in here, hopefully. Probably gonna get this gun lancer here. We'll see. Damn, this guy's got some fat gems. Let's go ahead and jump in. Remember, optimal rotation off the start, as optimal as possible. Quick step, and let's get into it. See, he already uses blessing, so it's a good thing that we went ham on it and getting all these rotations. Now, my crit buff was down, but if you noticed, the gun lancer used his ultimate, so I have extra crit in that. I believe that was the right one, the right ultimate choice by him. And see, you can see my focus shot is up. You can see that down there. So I got to make sure, oh, this is not a good time to be using this. But he's almost done, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting it. Make sure that crit buff is on. Oh my gosh, we're already staggering. Okay. So switch to stagger skills. God, that was quick. And again, just hitting these skills off of rotation. First time I even used bullet rain. We are freaking melting him. Holy. So back off rotation on focus shot. You always want to keep an eye down here on this little box. Ooh. That way you can tell when your skills are coming off of rotation. All right, so we're back in. Trying to get this rotation optimal. Try to get conviction. We got it. We got judgment. Boom. So we're going to try to fit in as many skills as possible. There we go. I think we got it in. And back to bullet rain. Okay, let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. And we're back in it. I want that to land. Crit. Go back to using skills. Use away, please. My man. All right, so we actually were able to get Meteor Stream off of rotation there because we were cycling through pretty soon. Or pretty quickly. So here we go back to focus shot. Catastrophe. Make sure that crit buff is up. And it's not just for you, it's for your teammates as well. So I didn't use all that skill because my target down was up. Hopefully that's hitting him. Nope, he's already dead. Oh my goodness, that was a freaking melt fest. If you are planning to play Time to Hunt Gunslinger, then I hope you enjoyed this video. And if so, then make sure to leave a like on the video. It's free and it helps me out so much more than you could imagine. But what I'm really curious about is which 3 raids you are doing, including Brel. So are you including Vicus and Vaulton, or are you doing Clown and Vicus? Maybe Clown and Vaulton? Let me know down in the comments on what you're doing and why. Always include the why. I'll see you on the next video.